Buddha, or Gautama Buddha, also known as Shakyamuni Buddha, was a great, extraordinary spiritual master from ancient India. Born as Prince Siddhartha Gautama in the 5th century BC, he would have naturally inherited the vast wealth of a kingdom. However, the prince left the palace life in search of spiritual knowledge. After years of contemplative seeking, the Buddha attained great enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. He then shared the merits of his practice by providing a method for other sentient beings to be freed from the cycle of death and rebirth. The rich treasury of Buddha's spiritual doctrine on universal truths is studied and revered to this day for its deep wisdom and compassion. The Pali Canon, or Pali Tipitaka, are a collection of sacred Buddhist Pali language texts which form the foundation of Theravada Buddhism. The Pali Tipitaka, which translates to the three baskets, consists of three main categories, namely the Vinaya Pitaka, which contains the rules for monastic order, the Sutta Pitaka, which contains the suttas or discourses by the Buddha, and the Adi Dhamma Pitaka, which are an elaboration of the Buddhist doctrines relating to the investigation of the nature of mind and matter. Although Pali is an ancient language of the Indian subcontinent, it is still the main language for studying Theravada Buddhism, even though translations of many languages can now be found. Pali chanting is a common way of studying the Dhamma, cultivating mindfulness, wholesome thoughts, and aspirations, as well as helping practitioners in dedicating life to spiritual practice. Pali chanting includes sutta chants, reflections and recollection chants, praise and gratitude to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha chants, as well as chants on codes of conduct, precepts, and many more. Nowadays, Pali chanting may be done in the Pali language alone, or may be interspersed with translations in the local language to facilitate better understanding for people less proficient in Pali. Today, we are honored to present some translations of Theravada Buddhism Pali chants, which are recited by both monastic and lay practitioners in everyday life. The recitations of the English translations are from Chanting Book, Volume 1, Morning and Evening Chanting or Puja, and Reflections, Pali and English, published by Amaravati Publications, Amaravati Buddhist Monastery, United Kingdom. This book is available free for download at amaravati.org/teachings/chanting. The first chant we would like to present is the preliminary homage to Buddha chant. This chant is recited in the Pali language before rituals, sermons, and many activities performed at the monastery, as well as part of the set of morning and evening chants recited by practitioners on a daily basis. It is also often the first chant taught to children. Preliminary homage to Buddha chant.
Homage to the blessed, noble and perfectly enlightened one. Homage to the blessed, noble and perfectly enlightened one. Homage to the blessed, noble and perfectly enlightened one.
Following from the preliminary homage to the Buddha chant, we would now like to present homage to the Buddha chant, which is recited as part of the morning chant and is an opportunity for practitioners to praise and show gratitude to the worshipped, world-honored one, Shakyamuni Buddha, for his deep wisdom and imparting the Dhamma teachings to the world. Homage to the Buddha chant.
The Tathagata is the pure one, the perfectly enlightened one. He is impeccable in conduct and understanding, the accomplished one, the knower of the worlds. He trains perfectly those who wish to be trained. He is teacher of gods and humans. He is awake and holy. In this world, with its gods, demons, and kind spirits, its seekers and sages, celestial and human beings, he has by deep insight revealed the truth. He has pointed out the Dhamma, beautiful in the beginning, beautiful in the middle, beautiful in the end. He has explained the spiritual life of complete purity in its essence and conventions. I chant my praise to the Blessed One. I bow my head to the Blessed One.
The next chant is the 5 precepts chant and is chanted by the lay practitioners. The 5 precepts chant.
I undertake the precept to refrain from taking the life of any living creature. I undertake the precept to refrain from taking that which is not given. I undertake the precept to refrain from sexual misconduct. I undertake the precept to refrain from lying. I undertake the precept to refrain from consuming intoxicating drink and drugs which lead to carelessness. These are the 5 precepts. Virtue is the source of happiness. Virtue is the source of true wealth. Virtue is the source of peacefulness. Therefore, let virtue be purified.
Now to the 5 subjects for frequent recollection chant, which expounds the topics in the Upajjhatthana Sutta or subjects for contemplation. 5 subjects for frequent recollection.
I am of the nature to age. I have not gone beyond aging. I am of the nature to sicken. I have not gone beyond sickness. I am of the nature to die. I have not gone beyond dying. All that is mine, beloved and pleasing, will become otherwise, will become separated from me. I am the owner of my karma, heir to my karma, born of my karma, related to my karma, abide supported by my karma. Whatever karma I shall do, for good or for ill, of that I will be the heir. Thus we should frequently recollect.
Next, we would like to present the verses on a shining night of prosperity chant, which reminds us to stay focused on the present. Verses on a shining night of prosperity.
One should not revive the past nor speculate on what's to come. The past is left behind, the future is unrealized. In every presently arisen state, there, just there, one clearly sees. Unmoved, unagitated, such insight is one's strength. Ardently doing one's task today. Tomorrow, who knows, death may come. Facing the mighty hordes of death, indeed one cannot strike a deal. To dwell with energy aroused, thus for a night of non-decline, that is a night of shining prosperity. So it was taught by the peaceful sage.
Finally, the last chant in today's program is the teaching on the Noble Eightfold Path. This chant expounds the topics in the Magga Vibhanga Sutta, or an analysis of the path. The teaching on the Noble Eightfold Path.
This is the Noble Eightfold Path, which is as follows: right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. And what bhikkhus is right view? Knowledge of suffering, knowledge of the origin of suffering, knowledge of the cessation of suffering, knowledge of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. This bhikkhus is called right view. And what bhikkhus is right intention? The intention of renunciation, the intention of non-ill will, the intention of non-cruelty. This bhikkhus is called right intention. And what bhikkhus is right speech? Abstaining from false speech, abstaining from malicious speech, abstaining from harsh speech, abstaining from idle chatter. This bhikkhus is called right speech. And what bhikkhus is right action? Abstaining from killing living beings, abstaining from taking what is not given, abstaining from sexual misconduct. This bhikkhus is called right action. And what bhikkhus is right livelihood? Here bhikkhus, a noble disciple having abandoned wrong livelihood, earns his living by right livelihood. This bhikkhus is called right livelihood. And what bhikkhus is right effort? Here bhikkhus awakens zeal for the non-arising of unarisen, evil, unwholesome states. He puts forth effort, arouses energy, exerts his mind and strives. He awakens zeal for the abandoning of arisen, evil, unwholesome states. He puts forth effort, arouses energy, exerts his mind and strives. He awakens zeal for the arising of unarisen, wholesome states. He puts forth effort, arouses energy, exerts his mind and strives. He awakens zeal for the continuance, non-disappearance, strengthening, increase and fulfillment by development of arisen wholesome states. He puts forth effort, arouses energy, exerts his mind and strives. This bhikkhus is called right effort. And what bhikkhus is right mindfulness? Here bhikkhus, a bhikkhu abides contemplating the body as a body, ardent, fully aware and mindful, having put away covetousness and grief for the world. He abides contemplating feelings as feelings, ardent, fully aware and mindful, having put away covetousness and grief for the world. He abides mind as mind, ardent, fully aware and mindful, having put away covetousness and grief for the world. He abides contemplating mind objects as mind objects, ardent, fully aware and mindful, having put away covetousness and grief for the world. This bhikkhus is called right mindfulness. And what bhikkhus is right concentration? Here bhikkhus, a bhikkhu quite secluded from sensual pleasures, secluded from unwholesome states, enters upon and abides in the first jnana, accompanied by applied and sustained thought, with rapture and pleasure born of seclusion. With the stilling of applied and sustained thought, he enters upon and abides in the second jnana, accompanied by self-confidence and singleness of mind, without applied and sustained thought, with rapture and pleasure of born concentration, with the fading away as well of rapture. He abides in equanimity, mindful and fully aware, still feeling pleasure with the body. He enters upon and abides in the third jnana, on account of which the noble ones announce. He has a pleasant abiding with equanimity and is mindful. With the abandoning of pleasure and the abandoning of pain, with the previous disappearance of joy and grief, he enters upon and abides in the fourth jnana, accompanied by neither pain nor pleasure, and purity of mindfulness due to equanimity. This bhikkhus is called right concentration. This is the noble eightfold path.
For more information, please visit amaravati.org. Thank you, wonderful viewers, for joining us today for Words of Wisdom.